Right, Longmire and Brownless have kicked 6 of the goals between them, and Queensland to the left. David Howard holds the ball aloft, start of the second half. So can Queensland maintain its competitiveness, because they were competitive, particularly in that second term. 11-4 to 5-5. And Hanley, who's been excellent, wins that tap again. Powell, who's probably in front in the Terry Danaher stakes at the moment for the medal. There's Brunton's kick. Here's Krasiska. Well, he's had a bad night, and that one ricocheted off Frigo. Free kick going to Frigo, the 18-year-old.
Frigo's been moved down onto Bill Brownless.
Tony Lynn around the boundary line he went, and Matthew Simpson could not control it. There he is, Matthew Simpson, playing with West Adelaide now. Hanley versus Brownless, again the Geelong teammates fighting for it at half forward for New South Wales. And again, umpire David Howlett will come in and bounce. 2 experienced umpires, David Howlett and Peter Cameron, and have done an excellent job. Billy Brownless to the half-forward line, it's socket off the ground. Players race out after it. Lynn was there, number 17 for Queensland. Slippery conditions, difficult conditions. There's a kick by Danaher. Still going on with it. Danger here because Billy Brownless has got it. He's caught, loses it in the tackle. Hand pass comes out to Carlson from Lynn, and then Lynn goes and gets it again. That's good play by Tony Lynn.
Taps it on the ground. Handball over the top to Hanley. Hanley from half-back up to centre wing. And Coleman getting back. His opponent takes the mark. Now Tim Powell. He'll be taking the Swans on Sunday at the MCG. He's kicked into the centre square. Lawson. Handball good to Danaher. Sells one handball and then goes out to Brownless. He's playing wide on this occasion. Longmire provides the lead. Should be cut off, or Cotter a bit lack of concentration for a moment, I feel there. Barrich over the top. Gafer running onto it. Hip and shoulder by Cotter, who I think is pretty keen to make amends, and he runs it out of play. Well, Mickey Gafer must have smelled a goal there, Gerard. He's only kicked 1 goal in 118 games with Collingwood.
Well, he was getting down to that forward line. He's had a lot of run in the legs tonight, enjoying not having to tag so much. He's Cotter. Gee, he's got a big heart. He's really been working well. So has Carlson. Further afield it goes to Grimley. Grimley to the half-forward line. Umpire calls a free kick, Peter Cameron. And it will be a free kick at half-forward. And this is Willits. Rod Willits has kicked 1. 2, in fact. Only 3 kicks, so 2 goals from 3 kicks. A good effort. Oh, shocking kick on that occasion. Hand pass comes across, and this is David Wern having a shot at goal. Across the face he goes, and it's tapped over the line. Now, Billy Brownless behind the play here is in the hands of the trainers. Some attention to a hand, I think.
Looks that way. Coleman and Gibson. Left foot by Brunton. Powell has had, you'd expect the most kicks here tonight. A ton of touches. Here's Werner. Takes off from centre wing, playing with a lot of confidence, goes towards Longmire. Good kick. Longmire in an excellent contest. Off the ground and a behind there from Newell. And Newell up to 1-1 and 11-5 to 5-5. So it's 72 to 35. Short pass, okay, taken by Carlson, who's done all right.
Oh, he's been an excellent player, Darren Carlson. Probably good enough to still be with the Bears. There's Scotty McIver, thumped towards the half-forward line. Kennedy loses it. Here's a chance for Werner. Werner on the left foot has kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Poor kick from Werner on that occasion, but I've been impressed with his play tonight. Playing a lot more in the middle of the ground, at times going into centre bounces, and perhaps he's showing Kevin Sheedy another position that he might be able to get a game.
Well, he is very mobile and aggressive. He just has to, at times, curb that aggression, Gerard.
Yes, well, we saw him reported in last year's final series. He's got to get back to his best this year.
Carlson to Cotter. Cotter taking a chance from centre half back. into the centre square. Willits and Holmes. Willits has been pretty productive, gets a free kick. Holmes in his back, didn't like it, but it looked there. Made the long trek from Western Australia, goes short, and Coleman missing it. Chance for Brunton, who started on the interchange bench, got a run just before half-time. Hanley takes the mark from the centre square, goes short. The target was Gibson, Tui with him, off the ground by Tui, and the mark taken by Jones. Jones to swing it across to Krasiska. One of the few times he's had a clear touch. Left foot by Krasiska. Bangs it to the goal front and misses. It's a behind. So it's 5-6 to 11-5.
Well, they really are struggling up forward now, Queensland. They're having as much possession of the ball as New South Wales, but can't convert, and they're just blazing away from half forward.
Coleman receives from Danaher. Glenn Coleman around the boundary. Oh, some strong tackle there on Paul Kelly.
Well, you've got to congratulate Queensland for the way they've attacked the ball. They've put a lot of pressure on New South Wales and are still hanging in this game, possibly only by the slimmest of threads.
Well, I agree with you, Gerard, about the way they've attacked it. Probably an edging class for New South Wales. Advantage paid, but it doesn't come to their advantage. Holmes couldn't get his boot to it. Wheeler's in after it. And there's a man not too happy for New South Wales, Darren Holmes, and now it's on. Ooh.
They call it Biffo up in Queensland. They want to settle down now because they've got possession of the ball.
Well, David Wern doesn't muck around. He kicks it to Kennedy. Kennedy breaks the tackle, then a bad hand pass. Well done, Werner. Strong work. I'll tell you what, that young Matthew Simpson's having a real go. Oh, good player. Screaming away is Glenn Page. Long kick in towards full forward, and Johnny Longmire has marked.
Well, an excellent passage of play from New South Wales. Had its origins in the centre when Glenn Page, in a solo effort, came bursting through the centre, scooped the ball up, and then a long driving kick to Longmire, who marks on the chest in the goal square.
Longmire has kicked 3, and now 4.
12-5, 5-6, 77 to 36. So Longmire with 4 and Brownless with 3, the big goal scorers for New South Wales. Tap forward by Hanley, off the ground by Jones. High one, Wheeler underneath it. Thumps it away. A ricochet off Carlson. The handball okay to Simpson. Simpson to Cotter. Unfortunately unable to break the tackle. Tui just through his legs. Was looking for Lawson. Now Jones through his legs. Left foot round the body by Thompson, who's playing his first senior game tonight. And that's out of play.
It's a big match, Bruce, for a lot of these young players.
Sure is. We've already seen Neil kick his first senior goal for New South Wales tonight, and a lot of them staking a claim for senior selection later in the year. Jones on the up to Simpson, to Carlson, who's had many kicks. That one not effective and out of bounds on the full. So it'll be Anthony Danaher, not Terry, he's down the other end. Anthony Danaher to bang it back in for New South Wales. They just love playing footy, the Danahers, don't they?
They certainly do. They've been great players for the Bombers. There's a good mark taken by Terry Danaher, and sticky fingers with the wet ball. And the Bomber veteran to the half-forward line, Billy Brownless, and taps it over the line.
Yeah, so we saw him in the hands of the New South Wales physiotherapist, Doug Coleman, but he appears to have overcome that hand injury.
Still at centre wing. Slippery ball, difficult to control. That was Troy Clark. Carlson, oh, they've lost it. As New South Wales again, it's smothered though. Simpson, Krasiska. The short kick in towards half forward was a poor kick by Gavin Krasiska. Oh, some strong work. Hip and shoulder stuff at half forward for Queensland. Queensland again. This is Wern out towards half forward, and a good mark taken out there on the chest by Rod Willits. Now he's kicked 2.
Great vision from Wern there. Won the hard ball. Still had the presence of mind to look up and find one of his players.
Rod Willits will kick from about 51 metres. He has hooked it slightly and has missed to the left.
Well, we often see players, in trying to get that extra bit of yardage, just pull the ball across their body. He ran out to the right goalpost and hooked it, missing near side of the left goalpost.
Tui. Terry Danaher In the back, Wern. Thumped forward by Willits. A good take by Gibson from centre half forward. Drop punt. Tui getting back. And Cotter as well. Chance for Stewart over the top. Kicks a goal.
Well, there's young Ben Stewart, and what a player his father was. 3 Brownlow medals, and great player for Richmond and the Saints. Coached the Swans, or South Melbourne, and even had a brief stint at Carlton as coach. There's Simpson. In towards half forward. Now, is that up the ground? No, a holding decision. Peter Cameron right on the scene, and it will go to Holmes. Darren Holmes. A short kick, or it's a poor kick.
A shocking kick.
It's gone straight to Jason Grimley.
They are lacking a mobile forward. He hasn't got any options whatsoever, Grimley.
Well, off the side of the boot to the pocket. A one-on-one contest. Thumped the ground. Brunton, Wheeler, 2 Sydney Swans players combining. Matthew Wheeler to the half-forward line. Terry Danaher couldn't grab that one. Oh, almost a throw out. Barrage knocks it on, and Barrage hooks it back into play towards the half-forward line. Good play by Adrian Barrage. There's Danaher against McIver. McIver experienced. Oh, tap back in front of goal. Handley trapped it well and will kick it out of defence.
Gets some penetration to centre wing. Wheeler in the front spot. Clark was at the back. Now Clark, good take onto his left foot. Willits and Holmes having a duel there, and Gayfer able to come in and take an easy mark in front of Grimley. Gives it back to Holmes. Holmes back towards half forward. Wern at the back. He's played pretty well, Wern. Taps it a bit too far for McIver. Danaher cleverly to Powell, but it's a slippery ball and pretty hard to take under those circumstances. Here's Coleman. Good, strong hip and shoulder. Able to get rid of his Queensland opponent. And the mark taken by Frigo. Just 18 years of age. Swings it out towards Jones.
Looks a prospect, Frigo. Good size, pretty mobile.
Yes, he's with Maine and in the Bears list. And here's Wern again, Stephen Wern.
Yeah, Stephen Wern to the pocket. The lead is on. That was a good lead. A terrific lead, and it's Stewart. Ben Stewart. He moved very quickly, and look at the pass, look at the lead.
Well, he was unsighted by 2 New South Wales players there. Good skills to still take the slippery ball.
Well, kicking for his second goal from 49 metres. A beautiful looking kick. Doesn't quite make the distance. And tapped through for a behind. In fact, the ball eventually hit the post. But he showed a bit of pace then, Gerard.
Yes, he looks a prospect in the making. I'm sure the Bears would be hoping he could come up.
Tui to Page to Coleman. Coleman through centre half back. And
silly play.
Yes, down the ground against Queensland. And Powell gets the handball from Brownless and goes bang for goal and kicks it through.
South Wales doing it well. 13-5 to 6-8. Not good play by Michael Gibson. And in fact, Glenn Coleman went back and remonstrated with him. Jason Cotter to the half-forward line. Gibson a chance to make amends as he hooks it back at goal and puts it out of bounds on the full, I feel.
Well, he was dead set cheating there, Gibson. He was just hanging back. Tui attacked the ball, and somehow the ball fell in his arms. There he's flashing his red mouthguard. He's got to come in and attack the ball.
And Michael Gayfer, look at that. 7 kicks and 11 handballs, and he's been running down the ground. Good to see.
McIver was his target. Terry Danaher there with him. Here's Brunton. He was warming the bench for a good part of the first half. And throw in at half forward.
He's been great value, Bruce, for the Swans.
Probably a bit surprising he didn't start tonight in the 18.
Very surprised. I thought he would have had the job in the centre. Boy from Parramatta who's taken all before him this season.
Coleman won the tap. Stephen Wern tries to crash his way through. Page caught off the ground by Coleman, who's worked very hard. Cotter just pushed off it. Quick kick by Brunton. Nice take by Thompson. He's a newcomer. Goes towards Longmire. Will he get a good bounce? Oh, well played, Longmire. Handball over the top. Terry Danaher running in from the side. Puts a tackle on Carlson. Here's Lawson. Here's a goal. Goes all the way and misses. Misses. Well, he could have done a Speedy Gonzalez then, Gerard, and run right up to the goal front.
Yes, he should have run straight in. I was watching his player Carlson, who put his head down as soon as Gonzalez got the ball. He still thinks it's kicked a goal. He's just woken up now and he's come on to pick him up. Should have gone straight onto the goal line, as you said, Bruce.
Simon Lewis will bring it back into play. Kicks it wide. Oh, Brownless from 40 metres goes for the long bomb. Billy, it's close. He's gone.
Well, there's Jason Dunstall, who, looking on, went off injured just before half-time, and hopefully not too serious. So 4 goals to Brownless and 4 to Longmire. 14-6 to 6-8. Out of the centre, Wheeler had the ponytail earlier on. Now the dreadlocks in full force. So the ball comes to half-forward. Thompson, Danaher. This is Terry, round the body. Well, Powell sat and waited, but they might get away with it now. Krasiska from centre wing. Not a good kick. Willets put his hand up with the lights. Had a couple of chances, I guess, tonight, Willets, because Western Australia is playing a non-state of origin game against South Australia in Adelaide. Thumped away by Tui and out of play. But it's 6-8 to 14-6. It's Corey Bell, the 19-year-old from Southport, as Gibson's to go against Coleman.
Well, they probably played football together at Fitzroy at one stage. And they had certainly remonstrated with each other 5 minutes ago. That was Tui getting it to halfback. Good mark to Werner, who played an excellent first half. Michael Werner. 11-3. Dangerous pass. He was looking for his Essendon teammate Terry Danaher. Brunton working hard in the backs. He gets flat. Oh, a wild boot went in. Brunton again. Hand pass from Bell to Jones. Jones on the left foot. In towards, oh, look, no one there. It was too strong at New South Wales defence. Wheeler, beautiful kick, finds Barrage. Barrage is off and running. Where's Longmire? Krasiska. It wasn't Krasiska, in fact. As we see, I think it was Frigo punched that down. It was Frigo. Rudy Frigo. So it's at half forward for New South Wales.
Adrian Barrage coming on. Craig Nettlebeck getting his first opportunity to represent his state in senior company.
Brownless and Hanley. Hanley over the top of Brownless. Brunton's quick kick. Powell sat, waited. Play on called. Here's Frigo, who Jared Healy's described as a likely prospect. Paul Kelly, and a ball up. Pretty slippery there. We've had a lot of rain tonight. Hasn't been all that heavy, but it's been persistent. Free kick coming out of that. And Werner and Cotter. So Cotter certainly out of his weight division. From centre half back. A lot of touches. Holmes getting rid of Willets. No free kick. Powell was at the back. So was Wern. Here's Wheeler, who's had a few touches. Thrown away in the end. Chance for Corey Bell. One of a number of very small players for Queensland tonight. Simpson pushed it forward. Brunton's kick was smothered. Here's Kelly from centre wing. Short. Back to Werner from Nettlebeck. Werner goes bang to centre half forward. Longmire may have been the target. He's onto it now. Has Brownless there if he wants to use him with a handball. Misses Brownless. Here's Lawson. Can't take it. Still Lawson with an opportunity. Well played, Krasiska. Handball okay. And the kick away by Lewis not all that good. Only as far as Page, who's played pretty well. Swings it wide towards half forward. Lewis goes over the back again. Brunton one-handed handball. Round the body by Frigo. Good defender's kick. Out of play.
Well, sign of class, that.
Yes, it's not surprising with the injury to Dennis Carroll during the week. He came off last week with a hamstring that he hasn't come out after half-time. Buckenara obviously just taking every precaution with him.
That was Carlson to centre wing. And now for New South Wales, down in front of goal. Danger here. And she'll shuffle out to Krasiska. Krasiska right out to the wide open spaces. The race is on. Socket off the ground by Wern. David Wern, and he kicks it away from Mick Gafer over the line on centre wing. 14-6 New South Wales, Queensland 6-8. Light rain falling now, but slippery conditions. Official crowd 7,223.
Which is very similar to what Sydney and Brisbane got here on Friday night. Tapped away from Brunton. I think they had 7,400 that night. There's a kick from Neal to half forward. Handball by Voss was okay. Kennedy, I should say, to Krasiska. Getting a few more touches in the second half. That one very close to the line. And mark taken by Page. He's done pretty well. His kick dangerous to centre half back. Simpson attacked it strongly. Gave Willits a chance, but you'd back Lawson, wouldn't you? Oh, good take. He's got a lot of skill and an excellent kick to Tui. That's good footy.
Tui, a long kick to centre wing. Packer players fly for it. Gavin Krasiska. Transfers play or dangerous. And Powell chipped in to take the mark. Tim Powell, probably best man on the ground. A long kick to the half-forward line. He's found Nettlebeck. Nettlebeck should get this moving as quickly as he can. Now he brings it in towards full forward. Longmire at the back trying to get round, but he's tackled. Brunton. Shuffled out to Carlson, who's worked very, very hard. Centre wing is Holmes. Players pouncing on top of it. Paul Kelly's there, number 2, and Matthew Wheeler. It'll be a bounce.
90 to 44. Hanley over the top of Coleman. Wheeler, good tackle on him. Eventually got the handball away. Hanley caught by Nettlebeck. Free kick to Hanley against Nettlebeck. So awkward tackle on Hanley there. And he's paid the penalty. Goes short to Wern in the centre. Played pretty well. Krasiska got a poor bounce. It wasn't a good handball. The handball by Neal. Here's Tim Powell. He must be very high as far as the Terry Danaher medal goes. Short pass. Speak of the devil. There he is. The old stage of the 34-year-old.
And an excellent shepherd from Andrew Thompson to allow Tim Powell to come through.
He's kicked a couple, Danaher. 2 goals, 2. Leading goal kicker at Essendon a couple of times, 79 and early 80s. And that one across the face hasn't quite made the distance. Punched away by Werner. Well, courage there by Corey Bell. Had to sit and wait. Gives it to his lookalike. Had way about 9 stone between them, Pete, those two. Bell and Jones, they get a ride in the Grand National, wouldn't they?
They're 2 real goers. Here's Rudy Frigo to the half-forward line. Willits after it. Oh, Holmes was into his back, but the kick off the ground, how will the umpires see this? And Willits hit the fence. And he's a pretty sore lad at the moment. But as we've said many, many times, the boundary line here very close to those advertising hoardings. There's Coleman with the left hand. Cotter up in front of goal. Stewart playing in front. That was good thinking. Oh, Powell again. What a game he's played. He'll probably go over the top here. He will, with a hand pass to the wide open spaces. The chance here for New South Wales as kicking it down there was Robbie Neal. He's already kicked a goal, and look who he's found, Craig Nettlebeck at half forward.
Well, it's great to see Nettlebeck on the ground because he's playing next to one of the great workers and great champions of the AFL in Terry Danaher. And if Nettlebeck can take a small leaf out of Danaher's book in the way that he works up and down and through the lines, then this player will become a force in the AFL. He has all the ability, all the talent, just got to put his head down and work that fraction harder. Has had a pretty good season so far this year.
He hasn't got that headband anymore either, Gerard, which would be... I thought you'd say that. There's the kick, Nettlebeck. He'd have to improve on that sort of kicking, Gerard.
Well, he's only a young player. Saw him playing the Teal Cup against Glenn Jakovic 2 years ago. So both are in the seniors. Jakovic obviously a lot further in his development.
Well, gee, Tony Lynn ran about
30.
Yeah, at least. Now Cotter, who also runs about 22, goes towards full forward almost. Anthony Danaher, who I guess has been an anticlimax for him tonight. He would have been gearing up for Jason Dunstall to kick Nettlebeck with a big fly. Gee, that would have been something. Teal Cup, Jakovic versus Nettlebeck. Now Kennedy and the throw in at half forward.
Yes, well, Jakovic one hands down on that occasion. I think that was the sign that he was going to go on. He was beyond his years in maturity. But I believe Nettlebeck, if he puts his head down, could come up and be as valuable a player for the Swans.
Brownless over the top. Krasiska, high kick. Troy Clark underneath it. And, well, he really should have taken it, I guess. But slippery ball, bounces out and out of play. So not much happening for Queensland in this term. They're 6-8. They've advanced from 5-5 at half-time. And New South Wales are 14-6.
Just over 1.5 minutes left in this third quarter. I've been very impressed with Hanley. He is still jumping high, even at this stage of the match. There he is, the Geelong ruckman. He's been a real surprise pack and a real find for the Cats this year. And that Sydney crowd again yelling as the boundary umpire throws it in. Hanley to the boundary line, and it is now rolling over before Gibson can race away with it.
Been very impressed with a couple of the small players for the Queensland side. Jason Cotter, one of the best rovers in the QAFL, but never given a chance at AFL levels. Had a terrific night. Hard worker. So is Troy Clark, who's a good player for the Bears.
Simpson, who's playing at West Adelaide in South Australia. They're currently second on the ladder behind the famous Port Adelaide Football Club. Neil Curley back coaching West Adelaide this year, name very well known around Australia. Now Gibson goes against Coleman, thumps it towards the forward pocket, and off the ground by Willits.
Would Curley be the best coach in South Australia after Don Scott?
Oh, poor Don, he's probably watching. What is 0-6?
6
Don?
games, 6 losses.
He did win a night match, he told us once. South Adelaide, Don, was for a short time. Okay, free kick going to Paul Kelly from the back pocket.
There's the kick out to Toohey. Bernard Toohey now playing with Footscray. On to Andrew Thompson. Here's Mickey Gafer again with run. But there's the siren to end the third quarter here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. New South Wales well on top. 14-6-90, leading Queensland 6-8-44.